We are live now. Okay, I'm going to start the session. Good morning, students. Welcome to the seminar for University College Dublin. We have Abigail Lalla, who's the Senior Regional Manager for Europe, and then we have Sebastian, who's the Student Ambassador. Can I please request Abigail and Sebastian to also introduce themselves? And if any students have any questions, please just drop them in the chat box below. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you so much for joining us here today with SI UK for our webinar. We're here today to speak to you about the student experience at UCD and how unique it is and how you'll be able to avail of certain services within University College Dublin. So my name is Abigail Lawler, and as Shagun mentioned, I am the Senior Regional Manager for Europe. And what this means is that I work with European graduate students to help them apply and also find a space in the Masters of their choice at UCD. So I work primarily with graduate students within Europe, and I know we have a lot of attendees here from around the world and from the UK and from Europe. So I will explain the other UCD global offices that you can connect with as well in terms of your application and admissions. And I'm going to pass over now to our student Sebastian, who's going to introduce himself.
Hello everyone, my name's Sebastian. I'm a Stage 4 Law and Politics student here in UCD, and I also work in UCD Global with the Global Experience team. I'm one of 8 global guides. We're basically a sort of front of house team, and we run a place called the Global Lounge based in the UCD Global office, where we mainly cater to international students, but all students in general. And we provide a range of supports. So the Global Lounge is primarily a space where students can meet to study, have lunch, discuss things. We also run events, and we have a huge variety of events, a lot of cultural events, food events, music events, all of these kind of things, with a big focus on events for international students. And in many cases, we're also a first point of contact for international students when they have queries about absolutely anything pertaining to their studies or life in UCD, and then we assist them.
Thanks, Sebastian. Thank you. Okay, so Sebastian and myself have just introduced ourselves. So I am going to continue with our slideshow, and hopefully everybody can see it. If there's any issues, you can put a message in the chat. Hopefully everybody can see this screen. And University College Dublin is Ireland's global university. So I'm going to speak a little bit first about University College Dublin overall, and then I'm going to pass on to Sebastian, who's going to talk about the UCD student experience, how he's found the student supports more generally in the university, his own experiences of the student supports at University College Dublin, along with his role here in the Global Lounge that he's just spoken about. So actually we have offices all over the world in UCD Global. We have offices, our university is located in Ireland, in Dublin. And we have offices in Dubai, Delhi, Kuala Lumpur, New York, and a satellite office in Chicago, along with an office in Beijing. So we call ourselves Ireland's Global University because we really embrace internationalization throughout our curriculum. And we also want to ensure that international students at University College Dublin really feel at home and feel welcome here and throughout their studies. There's a spotlight on Ireland, and it is a very young and diverse nation at the moment. We are one of the happiest countries in the world, the 13th Happiness World Index, and the 3rd in the Global Peace Index 2022. So South Dublin, where University College Dublin is based, in the south side of Dublin. It is a very peaceful area, and you have a wonderful large campus where you can experience a lot of green areas and woodland walks and so on. So Ireland overall as a country has always enjoyed a high reputation in terms of their educational offerings, and we rank 10th globally in education for quality, and it also matches our economy. So the Irish economy is doing really well at the moment. And that would also link to postgraduate qualifications and a master's. So studying a master's in UCD can not only, enhance your own skills and expertise, but also allow you to progress with your career here in Ireland. Okay. And these are some of the leading global companies that are in Ireland at the moment. So if you were to study a master's, you can have a choice of getting experience from your master's at one of these impressive companies that are based in Ireland, and other international corporations that have their EU headquarters in Ireland. So there's a very large Microsoft campus in Dublin, a large Google suite of offices in Dublin, Meta, LinkedIn have their EU headquarters here, and of course Amazon as well have a lot of centres here in Dublin. Dublin is a very small city. It's very accessible. We are 2 hours from the west of Ireland, 2 hours from the north of Ireland, and 2 hours from the south of Ireland, and easy to get around by bus and so on. We are Europe's tech capital, so we're home to the leading international IT companies. We are on the south coast of Dublin as well. So beside UCD, you can get to the coast very easily and enjoy nice coastal walks and views as well. And we're also the gateway to Europe. A lot of their economical flights connect Dublin with other capital cities or smaller cities throughout Europe. So if you're from Europe, it's easy to get here. But if you're already based in Europe and you want to travel a little bit, it's very easy for you to get around. Okay. Okay, and I'll ask the administrators to mute people coming in if possible. So we are based in one of Europe's largest capitals. Campuses. So you can see this image here of our main buildings. And we are on 350 acres of land. We have 80 buildings and we have a lot of different woodland walks. Okay. And then I'm going to go on to the next slide. Now, what I wanted to talk about today was the supports we have for international students. I'm just going to give you a few as well facts on UCD's reputation. So we are ranked 87th globally, and we have been first in Ireland for graduate employability for many, many years. We are in the top 50 for archaeology, English, literature and veterinary science. We are also in the top 25 for library and information management, and also in the top 100 for these subjects such as history, agriculture, forestry, nursing, and a lot of other related subjects. So UCD, I suppose, has a lot to offer in terms of the programs offered. UCD offers everything bar dentistry and pharmacy. So that's probably the easiest way to understand the breadth of offerings. We have 6 colleges in UCD. So the college disciplines are arts and humanities, social sciences and law, engineering and architecture, business, science, and we have health and agricultural sciences. So they are the 6 colleges within UCD. And what we wanted to explain today as well, that within those colleges, there are schools that you study with. So within the schools, you have program managers who support you in your administrative, in the administrative sense, and they support the academics. You have academic deans, also supporting you. And there is as well in UCD what we call a writing centre to help with writing assignments and essays and gathering your thoughts, along with a maths centre to help with numerical skills. As well, in each college, there is a student advisor, and that is very important as well. So that's someone you can go to if you ever have problems or issues. And then there are internship managers. So a lot of our programs involve work experience, so you will have support for that as well. So they are the supports at the school and the college level. In terms of the institutional level, we have over 9,000 international students on our main campus, and we have a massive network of alumni across 184 countries. But at the institutional level, we have a lot of support. We have a health centre on campus with doctors and nurses. We have sports and societies. We have gym and gym facilities. We have a students' union also for students if they have any issues as well. We have a chaplaincy for any students that have any needs around faith, and an Islamic centre as well. We also have a career service and also UCD Global. And Sebastian is a student global guide for UCD Global. And at the end of this slideshow, he's going to talk to you around his experience as a student and all of these supports that you have. But also he's going to speak around his role within UCD Global. So as I explained to you, this slide shows the supports. So we have also a student health and counselling service. We have a student immigration support officer, over 70 clubs and societies to choose from. The clubs and societies are really well resourced. They're down in a building called the Student Centre. They have their own offices. There's a radio station there. There's a debating chamber. There's a cinema. There's a theatre. And in terms of sports, there's a lot of different sports fields. There's lots of tennis courts, football, all-weather pitches, a rugby stadium, and there's also Gaelic football that you can get involved with as well. Sebastian will mention some National Day celebrations, but there's also Irish language and music events. And Sebastian works in Ireland's first global lounge. So this is a dedicated space for international students on the UCD campus. So not only do you have all of the supports in your school, in your college, and institutionally, you also have UCD Global. And this is quite unique in Europe. So on the right-hand side, you'll see a little graphic. So you have your library, your writing centre, your math support, your student advisors, your UCD for all, if you have any issues around mobility or any access issues. We have our careers network that are very, very active. We have a chaplaincy, we have counsellors, we have a student desk as well that is open for all students to call into. If you have any issues around the registration of your modules, the paying of your fees, they're there to help you. We also have University EDI, which is Equality, Diversity and Inclusion. And this is a unit that spans across academic staff and students to support equality, diversity and inclusion on our campus. We have Healthy UCD that does a lot of activities with students and staff around healthy eating weeks, lots of free courses, free sports courses, and also to remember that our state-of-the-art gym and Olympic-sized swimming pool is free for students to use. We have a lot of student health services on campus. We have a union that students elect. And here is an example of our drama SOC performing as well. So we have a few photographs here. This is a National Day event. This is our global lounge. This is where Sebastian works. This is our student gym with our Olympic-sized pool, our cinema, and then some other images of our UCD Global Lounge. So I am going to pass over to Sebastian to talk for a little bit about how he's found supports for students and his experience working as a global guide. Is that okay, Sebastian? Thank you.
So I'll just run through some of the supports. And I suppose one of the main things I'd mention is that the supports are very accessible in UCD. They work well together. You might find yourself going to, say, a student advisor, and then they'll refer you on to student health service, or someone would go to the global lounge and then we'd refer them to the student desk. So there's a high level of cooperation between all the different units. In the Global Lounge particularly, I mean, we're often a first point of contact for international students. It's a place they can essentially feel welcome, feel at home, meet other international students, and we would be particularly aware of certain challenges or difficulties that international students primarily would face, and we would know where to refer them. So a student might have an immigration query. We know who can help them with that. They might have a query about accessing student health service or where to find their student advisor, how to get in touch with them and all that. And we can provide all that information. The global guides are all current students themselves, and many of us are also international students. So again, we can relate very much to the international student experience, and it helps us a lot when we're dealing with other international students because we know what to expect. We can relate to them, and so on. In addition to that, we've a range of events we host regularly in the Global Lounge. We cooperate very closely with a range of the student societies. They're able to use our space to host their events, all that kind of thing. A lot of other units within UCD will also use our space to host events and meetings and so on. In my experience with supports in UCD, they're very accessible. Student advisors are very helpful, very good at engaging with students. They always know where to point you if they don't have the kind of, the right answer themselves. And there's something there to help you with everything. If it's an academic concern, if it's a concern, a financial concern, something about another aspect of your life, there's a support to deal with all of those things. Certainly in my experience, you never feel alone. There's always someone you can ask, someone who's an expert in the area who will be able to either find the solution or find someone else who can. And in general, all the different units work very well towards supporting you throughout your time and ensuring you have the best academic and social experience in UCD.
Thank you, Sebastian, for that. Thank you very, very much. We have our contact details here, internationalenquiries@ucd.ie, and some of our social media handles, UCD Global on Twitter or X as it now is, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. So thank you very much for joining us today. So we'll see if there's any questions around the student support side, we can take them.
Students, if you have any questions, could you please unmute your mic and ask? Actually, there's a student who has asked a question in the chat box.
Yeah, I think that's a very broad question. So the engineer's degree in energy and mechanics and master's degree in energy experience. Okay. So actually, do you know what I'm going to put in? So in terms of PhD studies, so there's two things there. So PhD studies, we are actually promoting masters here today. So PhD studies in UCD, you have to go directly to the academic themselves. So I suppose in terms of English language, all you can do is probably try and learn as much as you can at home. And we do recommend immersion. So if you can come and live with the family in any English speaking country, is probably one of the best ways to learn. I know some people might think that's not something they want to do when they're older, but it's actually something that works quite well. So to find maybe a language course during the summertime that's affordable and that you might be able to get a scholarship for or so on. In UCD, we have the English Language Academy, so I'm going to put that in the chat that you can check out. And they would have different programs that you could look at. And you could come over in the summertime and maybe stay with a family and try and learn English that way. The other thing is, I've given you the other website, which is people.ucd.ie. To do a PhD in Ireland, you really need to know what area you want to research in. So you have to have a very high level of a master's program, and then you can contact the professor directly at people.ucd.ie if you want to study a PhD.
Thank you. If any other students have any questions, can you please unmute your mic and ask?
we'll wait here until somebody gets, if there's anybody brave enough. So we have just we have 3 at the moment, do we, Shagun? Yeah, 3.
Yeah, 3, 4. We can wait for another 10 minutes if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, we can end the session.
Yeah. So I'm going to put into the chat here our email address, and you can international inquiries @ucd.ie. Okay, and that way you can or international @ucd.ie. Okay, so there are 2 of the main email addresses in terms of looking for information on UCD programs and admissions and so on. Great. Thanks, Shagun. So it doesn't seem to be any questions. So we can probably, yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you, students, for joining the University College Dublin seminar. We shall see you on the 7th for the next seminar. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.